I would love you, who is an expert. You said something about growth. Was it growth?
Yes,
Yeah,
growth strategy.
strategies.
Yes.
So beautiful. So you're going to tell us a bit about marketing before we start comparing marketing as it is in the Web 2, the Web 3 world, the physical businesses, to what marketing is in Web 3. Let's first of all establish what marketing is.
Marketing are those activities that you can do consciously or unconsciously that communicates the value of a particular product or service to another person. A lady who steps out of the house looking nice is unconsciously or consciously marketing herself.
No,
Her
like,
personality.
even when sometimes they deny it.
Yes.
See, I'm just doing it for myself.
For myself.
But na lie. If people talk down on a Web3 project, would that lead to growth? Or bad marketing for Web3 projects is bad marketing indeed?
Any negative news around your product, around your project in the Web3 space can definitely kill that project.
Are there strategies to marketing that you think goes beyond content, or is just probably content creation, creating ads and all of that?
Content creation is the least thing about marketing. In fact, it's the last thing to be done.
For Temu, it takes exactly 7 days for your product to get to you.
No matter
Lagos.
where you are.
Yeah, in Lagos. When I saw them doing the promotions, they even used their CEO to do promotions. Yeah, this is Temu CEO and all of that. Now, the point I'm trying to make there is, I am confidently talking about Temu because I had
they solve your problem
satisfaction
exactly
from there. Just please, this watch is not from most of you are judging me already. This watch is not from Temu, please. I hope you increase your volume because it's about to go down. Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's another exciting time here at the studio, at the Chain Industry Studio, and this is Chain Talks, and you're welcome. My name is MC Rich and we're gonna have fun today. You know, Chain Talks is the only place or the only podcast where you have legit Web3 knowledge that sounds really fun. We talk to you as though we are in your sitting room giving you this gist, and then while you have fun, you learn. I make sure I go out of my way to bring up amazing guests so they give you the best of the best. Whenever I bring someone up here, they are definitely experts at what they do and they know exactly what they're talking about. You might want to listen to them. Ladies and gentlemen, today we would be talking about marketing. It is a word a lot of you have heard severally. You've heard marketing in the market, you've heard marketing in Web 2, you've heard marketing in Web 3. A lot of you are even marketers without knowing you are marketing for a particular product. Today we're going to be dissecting marketing, having conversations around it, and I brought just the right person for this conversation. I'm going to be introducing my friend, an amazing brother who is a marketing genius. He has worked with a lot of big projects, some projects you know, but you didn't even know someone from Nigeria was working there. He has worked with amazing projects that have succeeded over time, and he has also done like in-house stuffs for some big projects as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the studio this wonderful time, Pastor Henry. Hello sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I almost wanted to say Mr. Henry. But then a pastor is a pastor, so right.
Thank you. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So, sir, please just introduce yourself in your own way, and then we'll talk about marketing.
Okay, my name is Henry. Like you mentioned, privileged to pastor and also in the Web3 space, doing a lot of digital marketing and growth strategies for a lot of projects. And I'll be sharing with you my experience, and I'm sure we are going to have like an exciting time here.
Beautiful. So that's amazing, and it's so interesting. I like when I bring big men to the studio. From the way they talk, you know. I hope you increase your volume because it's about to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, I've heard a lot about marketing. In fact, I've participated in marketing in my own little way. But I would love you, who is an expert. You said something about growth. Was it growth?
Yes,
Yeah,
growth
growth
strategy.
strategies.
Yes.
So beautiful. So you're going to tell us a bit about marketing before we start comparing marketing as it is in the Web 2, the Web 3 world, the physical businesses, to what marketing is in Web 3. Let's first of all establish what marketing is.
All right. So basically, marketing can be described or explained or defined as the processes, the activities that result in creating, not just creating, communicating, and delivering value to the customers. So, marketing are those activities that you can do consciously or unconsciously that communicates the value of a particular product or service to another person. So, for example, let's be very um, neutral. A lady who steps out of the house looking nice is unconsciously or consciously marketing herself,
No, be
her
like,
personal.
even when sometimes they deny it.
Yes,
See, I'm just doing it for
for
myself.
myself,
But not lie.
she's marketing her personality. So you see, some of them, not just the girls, also the guys generally. So whatever you are doing consciously, unconsciously to communicate value to another person, that's simply marketing.
That's beautiful. That's another perspective to look at it. So it's not just publicizing or
Yes,
whatever. You are
yes,
communicating.
communicating.
Beautiful. That makes a whole lot of sense. So now we want to talk about marketing as it relates to the different aspects of tech. Let's start with the general marketing we know, like the one you explained. Let's start with marketing that we all know, the ones people do, like Close Up does marketing, and then let's relate it to tech for a product, if a product that is being used by users, and then let's break it down to Web3. Yes, sir.
All right. So now, when you look at the basic concept I just finished explaining, that it has to do with all the activities, the processes that involves creating and communicating value to another person. Now, building up from there, marketing can be described also as those processes, those systems that you put in place in order to drive growth to a product or service. All right.
Yeah.
So it involves understanding the product itself. So when you talk
Yes,
about
because you
marketing,
cannot market what you
what you
don't
don't
understand.
understand,
Beautiful.
it starts from understanding the product. Because when we talk about marketing, some people just feel that, oh, you just carry something and then you hit the road and then you collect money from people. That's not marketing. Marketing starts from understanding the product, understanding the value the product can offer, understanding the people that product can be best fitted, understanding how to take or to drive that product to the market. All these are part of marketing. So you can actually understand the product, understand the value of the product, but you don't understand the process to take that product to the market.
Yeah.
You can even understand the target market, but the process through which you take that product or that service to the market can actually not give you the growth or the result you want, because the end product of marketing is to have growth. And sometimes that growth can be translated into financial growth. It can be translated into user growth. It can be translated into different forms of growth metrics that you can use. So marketing involves all those activities from even ideation. And that's why if you are working, if you are a project or a company, a Web3 company or Web3 startup or even Web2 companies wants to market or their product, where they start working with the marketing strategy or the chief marketing officer from the ideation stage, because he will now be able to understand the concept, what the developer or what the company wants to build, and can now impute exactly what to put into that product when developing or when building that product in order to drive the growth he's looking for. For example, you are building a product in the Web3 space. Let's
Okay.
start like that. And let's use Chaindustry as an example. Chaindustry is building a lot of services around community growth, and then this service is targeted at growing the clients, that is the company that Chaindustry will be handling marketing for. But then to be able to drive that growth, Chaindustry product must be user friendly, knowing fully well that majority of the people that are going to use it are going to be people that are just being onboarded into the
tech
space.
space. Okay.
So if you're now building a product that has all those technical jargons, and then some of the people that are supposed to use this platform don't really even understand.
So they first of all have to go and learn
Before they come and use your product. So you see, it will now reduce the growth traffic you are supposed to have.
Beautiful.
All right. So marketing will have to start from the ideation, the product development. How are you going to tailor the product to your users? And then you can now go forward to, designing the process, designing the steps, the best route that you can take that product to the market. Let me shock you. In the Web3 space, Airdrop is a marketing strategy. Beautiful. All right? That can actually drive growth to a product. But that strategy is not the only strategy. And in most cases, that Airdrop strategy is not fitted for all Web3 projects. As common and as native as Airdrop is, it is not the best strategy to be used for some innovations in the Web3 space. So as a marketing strategist or as a marketer, it is your role to understand the product, understand the strategy to actually drive the growth, to actually drive that product to the market, the best channel to use. So that's all those things are encompassed into marketing: understanding the product, understanding the routes in which you want to take that product to the market, understanding the target market that you want to drive growth from. And then when you understand all this perspective, you'll be able to have a very successful marketing, and then you will achieve your goal, because any marketing that does not hit the goal is not actually successful marketing.
That's really cool. So I'm going to ask this question that I'm pretty sure it's on the mind of a lot of persons. We've heard over time that there's something called negative marketing, or there's something people call, especially when it comes to a physical product, they say all kinds of marketing are marketing. So, like for instance, an artist is trying to promote a product, which is his music, and then he will go and maybe try to fake an accident or something. We've even had people go as far as faking their own death. True, just so that they can drive growth to their product. Is this feasible in the Web3 market? If people talk down on a Web3 project, would that lead to growth, or bad marketing for Web3 projects is bad marketing indeed?
All right, so that's a very good question, and these are the things I usually teach the marketing students, that yes, marketing principle might be general, but when it comes to Web3, the market terrain is different. For example, any negative news around your product, around your project in the Web3 space can definitely kill that project. So, for example, you actually know that if, for instance, let's talk about the most known Web3 founders, like the CZ, that is the founder of Binance. If he comes up now and then describe himself as let's just say he come up and said CZ is dead, or he just make a post or something. That's a negative news, and it will drive attention to that company. What's happening to CZ? That's attention that he has successfully gotten. But when that information is found out to be false, it will be negative on that project. That's for instance. And just like you mentioned, that people can negatively demarket themselves, create negative stuff to be able to drive attention. It's not all attention that translates into growth.
Okay.
Especially in the Web3 space. And that is why you have to be very careful when you are doing Web3 marketing. It's more delicate and more sensitive than just attention. Attention is good, but you have to make sure that that attention is in the right way. So unlike other products that people can just, create those kind of stuff just to drive traffic, and don't forget that the traffic that these people are looking for is, for example, if it's the social media, these things are just very rampant in the social media space.
Yes.
They just want to get traffic to their site, and that traffic is actually the money. So whatever you do after that is none of their business.
Okay.
But in the Web3 space, the traffic that comes to your product is not actually the exact result you're looking for. The exact result you're looking for is that traffic being a conversion or being converted into users.
Okay.
Either users of the tokens or users of your product. So whatever you are doing, if you negatively bring the attention to your product and they find out that this was a lie, it will turn out to crash that project. So it is different from the other sector, Web3 marketing, or even the traditional marketing. In Web3, you have to be very, very careful when you are building your community. It has to be on trust. It has to be on honesty. In Web3, anything that breaks trust and honesty has actually broken that project. No matter how big, no matter how much you have invested in it, compared to other businesses in an ecosystem that can even thrive on lies. In Web3, if you are building your marketing strategies or you are building your growth based on lies, once people find out, that's the end of that.
Wow.
That project.
All right, that's interesting to know. And I believe you guys are learning. Now, for the sake of those that are watching us, because I want to believe that it's not everybody who is watching us right now that is a founder. There are people who are individuals they call themselves degens in this space, hustling, trying to make a living. I'm going to ask a question. Now, let's reverse the role. We've heard marketing from projects, from products. How about marketing yourself as an individual in the Web3 space? How do you go about that, sir?
All right. So everybody should be a marketer. Whether you are a designer, that is in terms of UI, UX, whatever designs you're doing, you're a content creator, you're a community manager, you are a moderator, you are a developer. Some developer says that they're not good in the marketing space, and that's why they hire a marketing expert. So everybody's supposed to be a marketer for your skill, because it involves communicating your value and your skill to the general public. For example, before I came here, the project I'm working for, we're looking for blockchain engineers, all right, that can help them in some. They are building a new consensus blockchain, so, and they were looking for an engineering expert, that is blockchain engineers, expert that have had experience, maybe has worked before. And the first thing I had to do was, to ask people around who has this kind of people. And now the next thing I had to do was to go on LinkedIn to search for blockchain engineers and possibly check how to connect with them. See, those are the process that I'm now trying to get to know who is a blockchain engineer. Now, if you're a blockchain engineer, you say you are not a marketer and you cannot be seen. When people are looking for that skill that you are offering, nobody can find you. You will definitely not make sales. You definitely not be going to be hired. So that is where marketing comes in for everybody. Position yourself, and in Web3 marketing or in marketing in general, we teach people how to package yourself and be seen. You can be best at anything, but if you are not best known, you can be best at nothing.
True.
All right. So you have to be best at your skill, and also you have to be best known. That is where the marketing comes. So you have to now position yourself strategically. If you are a designer, and then nobody can search you on the internet to find you, you are not in a workplace that people can hire. You are not in a place that people can ask, where do I get this particular skill? And if they come to that platform, somebody cannot quickly see you. Then you are very far from being useful in the space, no matter how good and skillful you are. So that is where marketing comes, where you now present yourself. First of all, define the roles define the things that you want to offer that people can look out for, and then package it and make sure that you are visible. That is just basically the best thing to do in terms of communicating your values for another person to exchange, whether monetary value or whatever, to that particular value that you are offering.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful explanation. Now, when it comes to marketing, when people hear of marketing, let me not say people, even myself, when I hear of marketing, all I think about is
Content.
content creation, just create a bit of content, run ads, and all of that. And we've seen a lot of content creators who tend to do marketing for a lot of brands. You keep hearing Tech Global, the trusted and reliable platform, trusted, and they always use that line. Is that what marketing is, or it's just a form of marketing?
Well, that, like I mentioned, that's the least thing or the last thing in terms of the marketing ladder. When you are
Wow.
considering marketing, is the last thing, and it falls under promotion. So marketing starts from product, like I mentioned, and then there's this thing that is called marketing mix, the 4 P's of marketing mix. Starting from the the product, the price, the place, and then the promotion. So the promotion is the part that many people see, because that is what people can actually relate with at the first instance. So marketing is not making content. Of course, you can make a very stupid content that doesn't convert. All right. And then you can make content that people come to the product and end up seeing that the product is not useful. For example, let's look at a brand. I don't know whether to mention a brand here, but let's look at the mobile phone evolution. Okay, there was those early time that a particular brand of phone was very, very prominent. Maybe let's mention it, like the Nokia. They were using a particular operating system, and at some point, the technology had evolved, and maybe they were not fast enough, or maybe they were reluctant. Some of these big companies can be bureaucratic in nature, decision making and stuff like that. They were not able to adopt fast. But you see, Nokia and Samsung at that point, they were almost in fact, Nokia was almost top brand more than Samsung.
Okay, yeah.
But when the technology evolved, you see that Samsung was able to adopt the Android system, and then the iOS system. What happened there was that they didn't prioritize their product. There's what is called product market fit. So marketing starts from there. Product market fit. Because no matter the noise and you won't tell me that Nokia wasn't making adverts.
Yes.
Nokia wasn't making content. You won't tell me that they were not doing those things. They were pushing out those things.
The point is, even if Nokia now decides to create all the content in the world,
nobody will adopt it like that.
At the end of the day, they won't get the desired result,
provided they still use their old system.
Okay, beautiful.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Provided they still use their old operating system, because at the end of the day, you are making content, you are making the viral noise. People come in and take the product, and it's not still solving their problem, that maybe possibly the problem that you were pushing out there. Compared to some of these people, there was this particular vendor, I call it drug vendor, I don't know, and he was advertising one particular drug to cure everything, to cure headache, to cure malaria, to cure one particular
just one product
to cure those. Of course, that's not actually true. At some point, we are not hearing about those people again, because people they made the noise everywhere. People got to know that this thing is actually a lie. So you see, marketing is not that content. Content is the promotion, the last thing to consider in marketing. You start from understanding the market first. That's where marketing starts. Then after understanding the market, you've identified a problem. You then come to design a product that can be useful to them. All right. And then after that, you then go to the pricing. All these things are part of marketing. You have to plan this with your marketing or growth strategies to be able to get the best from your marketing. Let me also give you an example. In this part of the world that we are, there was this brand that came up, Temu. Now, before they came up, we already knew that there were a lot of marketing, or should I call it online marketplace, where people can get things. They just sat down and studied the demographics they wanted. They studied this part of the world and understand what they wanted. And then they now they design a product that solves that problem. Cheap,
affordable, fast, very, very fast delivery.
Do you
In fact,
understand?
let me say something about that, sir. Do you know, I used to do drop shipping at some point when I was in Lagos. It took exactly 18 days
To get a product.
to get a product. It
You
took
can
18
imagine.
days, yes, in Lagos. Now, for Temu, it takes exactly 7 days for your product to get to you
No
in
matter
Lagos.
where you are.
Yeah, in Lagos. You would see it arrive in Lagos after 7 days. They stopped using shipping and they started using airplanes to ship their products, right? And then, of course, that's relatively faster. And because of the kind of things people order, they don't necessarily need to have a cargo plane to carry these
They
things.
can just,
They can just
lift
impute it as, yes, as you know. So I discovered that these guys really studied the market.
That's exactly what I'm
And
talking
then their
about.
promotions, when I saw them doing the promotions, they even used their CEO to do promotions. Yeah, this is demo CEO and all of that. Now, the point I'm trying to make there is I am confidently talking about Temu because I had
They
some
solve your
level of
problem.
satisfaction
Exactly.
from there. Just please, this watch is not from most of you are judging me already. This watch is not from Temu, please. Anyways, but I get your point, and I'm glad that I could relate. Please continue.
Yes, so you see that is where marketing starts. It starts from understanding the pain problem you want to solve and actually solving that. Then when you are finished solving that, including pricing, is part of it. Then when you now finish solving the product, the pricing, you solve the place how people can get the product. When you now solve it, including service, when you now solve it, that's where content marketing comes in. For me, that handles a lot of marketing for a lot of projects, a couple of projects and Web3 startups. The last thing I consider is content, which content falls under KOL and content marketing. Is all about influencing people's decision to buy into what you are doing, what you have already prepared. So content is the last thing you see. Ambassadors program in Web3, you see Airdrop, you see all those things are under promotion and they are promoting something. What are they promoting? The solution behind. And that's why you see some of these content store when they're doing all those, mostly in Web3 space, if they don't have a solid product for people to use, you see that project will definitely die over time. There's a project, let's go to Web3. There's a project that launched recently. They raised a lot of money, over $300 million. I think an L1, I don't want to mention name. And then they did not have a product market fit, but they had that hype. That hype actually went away when people came in and didn't really have something valuable to use. All right. But there is this other one. It is a pep trading platform. I don't want to mention a name. They already had a very viable product they were using. And they didn't really make a lot of noise. They just took the project went live. I think they used the airdrop marketing strategy around that. So when they now gave that incentive out, people that actually got the airdrop refused to sell it because the product was working and it was a solution the industry was looking for at that time. And because of that, they have scaled their revenue. Because any marketing you are doing and you can't scale your revenue, it goes back to the growth I was talking about. You are not growing in the number of people using it. You are not growing in the revenue that is coming in because marketing takes budget. So your marketing is supposed to bring back the budget. And if you didn't fix your back end well, your marketing will not bring back the budget. So content creation is the last thing to be considered when it comes to marketing. In fact, there are some marketing you don't even need content creation.
Wow.
And then you still have the growth. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. I have a question that's been bothering me for a while. Each and every one of us here have related to marketing in one way or the other. Now, there's a particular kind of marketing in probably the Web 2 space, or I don't know how to put it, but in the traditional sense, there are a lot of people that consider mouth to mouth marketing as a form of marketing. That's the kind of marketing where someone uses your product, referral kind of marketing, not even for incentive, just because they enjoyed the product, they bring in other people. Does this kind of marketing work in the Web3 space?
It works, and in fact, it's the best form of marketing anywhere and any industry. when somebody can be able to use your product and then refer you,
Refer others.
and then you use it, is actually solving a real problem. For example, Nigeria was trying to figure out regulatory framework about on-ramping and off-ramping. And at that point, Nigerians were actually stopped. People were already using the blockchain technology. And when that policy came up, where banks were not supporting how to on-ramp, and that created a problem. Okay. That created a problem that somebody needed to come in and then solve that problem. People were now looking at the best platform they can actually on-ramp or off-ramp. At that point, it was referral. People can just say, all right, use this platform. This is a platform I use. This is a platform that is easier. And at that point, it became the best solution for people who were using that, who were in need of that particular solution. So it's still the best form of marketing. That's why I was telling you that you can still drive growth without necessarily making content or doing virality. All right. Virality is just one strategy in terms of driving growth. But if you have a solid solution, people will definitely look for you. Imagine you have a solution that can take you to US, for instance, with let's assume $500. You are in US. You will not be scrutinized. That is just, I'm giving you an example.
Yeah.
At this point, there is a solution. With $500, you'll be in US. You don't need to worry about visa. You don't need to worry about, all these things that, people find it difficult to use. What will happen? You don't even need to publicize it. If one person is using it genuinely, I mean,
Yes.
legally,
Others are going to jump
you
in.
don't need to make noise about it.
Others are
You'll be
going to jump
surprised
in.
about the number of people that will fill your office. So that's how it is. It's the best form of marketing. One-on-one is, even in Web3, in Web2, and in general, is the best form of marketing.
Thank you so much. Now we're going to end the conversation with this. A lot of us that are watching us at the studio right now, know what airdrops are. They know what an airdrop is. Most persons have made money from tap to earn, whatever, referral, whatever task they did. And then I want you to kind of elaborate on the kind of marketing or the kind of publicity airdrop brings, its relevance, and if you would recommend it for a project.
Yes, it's relevant. Currently, before I came on to this session, we were actually talking with some marketing agency on the project I'm working with, and one of the key things we were discussing was narrative. Because of the recent quietness in the market, projects are still finding narrative to use and drive people's attention back. Let people be hyped, let people be interested, enthusiastic about the market. And we are discussing that we are still trying to find, the narrative at that point. And we see that the AI stuff, the AI agents, and all AI automation is actually something that is trying to come up. And then the InfoFi just died because of the recent policy with X, formerly Twitter. So with this, airdrop is one thing that can bring people attention back to the Web3 space. But that airdrop has to be strategically positioned. Airdrop is the most viral form that can, form of onboarding people, form of activating people's interest in this space. I would recommend airdrops to a lot of projects, but I'll also ensure that that project has a better positioning, a better narrative. Because you see, there was a time that, for example, some airdrops, you just needed to fill a form, maybe a standard airdrop, you just needed to fill an email, submit your wallet address.
And that's it. Man, I miss that time, man. And I'm grateful to God Almighty that I made at least a little bit of money from there, because, man, it was so easy. You fill the form now. Immediately they bring out the list of those that are qualified. Sometimes you can see 3 or 4 of your wallet, and then the next 2-3 days they drop their tokens. And then if it's worth something, you sell immediately. Sometimes you get shit coins. Beautiful time, man. Beautiful time. I wish we could go back to those times.
we will definitely go back. We'll
Oh, by
definitely
God's
go back.
grace.
But since the industry is getting saturated, you also understand that if you are doing airdrop, you are targeting attention. You are targeting a large number of people. So if you are using that method, it means that you must have had a lot of treasury to be able to foot that. But why people the strategy that most projects are using now in terms of airdrop is ability to get that attention with the limited treasury that they have. And that's why you now see them coming. When they now sit down, we have limited treasury, but we need the virality attention. They now come up with a system. What kind of pattern can we use?
Yeah.
That's why that tap to earn came in. People like playing games. People already have phones, so they just brought the simple stuff that people can just be doing, just keeping them active, and they just discover that and then use that. And I'm also thinking that, and then people also found out that a lot of people are on social media chatting, talking about things. Some people are arguing. They just knew that is attention. They came up with info file. You saw when Kaito came up with their own airdrop, just be doing things, just be talking, and that was
generating mind share.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Now there is this thing coming up with AI agents, automation, and stuff like that. If somebody comes up with an airdrop in that line, is going to drive should I call it a narrative? If somebody can combine the airdrop and the AI stuff coming up, then they will be able to gain attention. So
I think it happened. It's just that it did not make a lot of wave. There was a particular AI that the more you chat with it, the more questions you ask, the more XPs you earn, and then you are assured of a particular share of the token at the end of the whole thing. But the idea behind it was supposed to be fun. People were supposed to express themselves to the AI the way they use ChatGPT. But the questions the AI could answer was limited. So you keep asking the same question over, and people don't like routine. They like products that they can be creative with. Nothing encourages one to use a product than to feel like he's the first person that discovered this particular thing on this product. And that's what makes it quite interesting. You see them hosting YouTube pages and telling you how to use this product to get the best result, and they're doing marketing for you for free. So I think it was a narrative that would have worked with that particular product I experienced. But you ask a question, it will tell you there's no answer for this. You ask a question, you even ask a question as simple as who is the owner of this project, and he says there's nobody in our database for this particular question. That's quite frustrating for an enthusiastic user, right? So I think, like you said, if someone can come up,
it still goes back to what.
Yes, exactly.
If there is a project that can sit down and brainstorm and then bring out something interesting in that direction, that would be the next airdrop narrative that can make the whole space viral. All right. So what our advice project and all is airdrop is good. Is one of the cheapest way to get the attention, especially if you have, look at what you just said, you were not satisfied with the product. I'm not sure that you still use that product.
Not at all. I don't move on in my life. And the sad thing is, that because we are all looking for money, you obviously will not have one account.
Yeah.
I had like 3 accounts, 3 different wallets, trying to bomb this AI. There are times it will give error, and then you just have to quit for that day. That day, you have to wait, because of course there are a lot of people also asking it random questions, right? So it didn't just work out.
That's it, scalability.
Yeah.
Coming up with something and then you are able to scale it to make it viral. Because any airdrop, you see those airdrops that that made wave those times, they made it, they got attention from whatever they were doing. Yeah. So is one strategy, one marketing strategy I always advise any project I'm working with to use, provided I find out that it will suit their project. Yes.
All right. That's
and currently we are working on one.
Wow. Yes. I beg no wahala. That's alpha for another day. Thank you so much, sir. We've had a wonderful time here at the studio. This is the Chain Talks, and my name remains MC Rich. We're going to call it a day for now, and then we're going to meet you in our next podcast. We're going to be bringing Pastor Henry soon, where we'll be talking more about marketing. You can see how passionate he is about marketing, and it's obvious that he knows a lot. But because we don't want this video to be too lengthy, we're going to call it a day for now. So before we leave, sir, just give a shout out to your people, and then we call it close.
All right, I want to thank everybody who took time to watch this video from the beginning to the end. I'm sure you learned something about marketing. There are lots in marketing, and one thing I also want you to go home with is marketing is not just about the noise you're making, the content you're making is the last thing about it's the last thing in the line of marketing. It's always good to start with the market research and get a good market product a product market fit, and then you can design your go-to market strategy before you get to that content. So marketing is a very interesting thing, and you are a marketer by yourself. You market yourself by the way, start from yourself. How are people interested in you? How are people seeing you? How are you presenting yourself? And then next time we come, we will share more things and more strategies and deeper things about marketing. And I also want you to join the marketing class, and you will learn a lot about marketing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Pastor Henry still use time marketing class. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please remember to like this video. If you see what you like, please like it. And then you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our weekly drops. And then you share this video. It's as easy as clicking the share button, copying the link, or you can share directly to WhatsApp, Facebook, so others can join in the conversation. Remember to drop a comment in the comment section so we know what you think about our videos. This will encourage us to do more. Not just this is nice, this is whatever you think that makes sense, or you'd like to be a guest, please drop it in the comment section. Thank you so much. We're going to call it a day for Chain Talks. Thank you so much.